Hello, mate.
Hi, mate.
You alright?
Yeah, all good, all good. Nice to see you again.
It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Aussie, big shout out to Aussie T, Hanukkah, Tina, and the more people I name, the more people I piss off because we leave them out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's best just to say nothing.
So, you sent me a link there on Facebook. We could drive a Soviet bread van across Kyrgyzstan in the mountains.
Yes. Bohanka rental.
Bohanka rental.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, that'd make it. We'd blow bald and bankrupt out of the water, wouldn't we?
Yeah,
You and me,
yeah.
we've got a. I reckon that'd be all right.
We've got stories and character, and everything bad happens. So
Everything bad happens,
yeah,
but we always find a solution.
yeah, that's right.
You know, winter's fucking set in here.
Yeah. It's actually it's earlier than expected. I mean, I was expecting a late winter, but look around us.
Mm-hmm.
The snow is well and truly here. Well, it was last night, so, and I think there's more predicted for not tomorrow, the day after, in this area. So, yeah.
You can't work now.
No, in terms of us, demining is probably going to finish a little bit earlier than expected, but we still have projects and stuff that are ongoing and training and everything else that needs to carry on. So the future's looking good. I mean, we are winning the war against mines, in my opinion. I mean, since the summer we've removed, I think, so 8,500 as a team.
Tell me about that famous picture. When I say famous, like Kiev Post, everybody reposted that.
Yeah. So it was the time when we removed 1,150 mines, 1,158 from a field in Kherson, and the Ministry of Interior Affairs or someone like that shared the picture, and it went viral. And here's this foreign British volunteer, newly qualified deminer, EOD, hitting the ground running, and that's something that I always promise to do, providing I have the right support, which I have, luckily.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thank you.
Tell about the shit, because we're far enough down the road with it now. Tell about the shitstorm and with the personal conflicts because of that photo.
Yeah.
People know this shit exists in Ukraine, but anyone who's got half a brain knows it and accepts it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's human nature to be jealous.
Yeah. So basically, due to my work, and obviously, when it comes to success, there's always people who aren't always happy for you, and I've experienced a hell of a lot of that in recent months. There's a lot of jealousy, and backstabbing in a way, because they don't say anything to me about it. They say it to others, and it's actually it upset me for a little while, but I mean, it's now I just carry on, and I just don't get myself involved in any sort of personal feuds or anything else, and just concentrate on the job that's in front of me and what I came to do. I didn't come here to have a penis measuring contest with anybody else. I just come here to do my job. So yeah, I wanted to use the D word then, but I don't want you to get a yellow monetization.
You can say dick after 30 seconds in a video. You can pretty much say what you want within limits.
Yeah.
The C word will get you demonetized.
Yeah.
No, but I remember when that happened, and it wasn't. Usually it's just foreigners bickering amongst other foreigners, and I've got my own stories with that, but a lot of guys, like in your unit, Ukrainian boys, are like, why is he getting the picture?
Yeah.
And like you said to me, it's just, well, you're Ukrainian doing your own country, and sad thing is that's no story.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because obviously for me, I'm a British guy here helping people, doing a good job. I like to think I'm doing a good job, and obviously, it did rub some people up the wrong way. But unfortunately, like Brandon just said, it's not a story if they're doing it themselves, unfortunately. But for me, it doesn't matter, as long as we get the work done and everybody's home safe, and we make them areas safe again. That's the main thing, and I'd love to know how many lives and potential amputations and everything else we've reduced this year.
But you'll never know.
We'll never know. Yeah, unfortunately. But it would be nice to know, obviously. But yeah.
But I don't know. I just, for lack of a better word, I'm quite proud of some of your accomplishments recently, because you're a foreigner, and it would get some media attention, whereas down here, Mykolaiv, Kherson, you get no media attention. Even in Ukraine internally, press is pretty much forbidden from Kherson right now.
Yeah.
But
one thing I always said as well was my channel was to highlight the problems in the south of the country, the problems that nobody speaks about. There's no reporting down here. A big a senior member of the Ukrainian government actually messaged me personally to say thank you for showing them sides of Ukraine that they don't see and they'll never see, because nothing gets reported down here. So that's a big part of my channel and why I created my channel, and why I documented everything that was going on down here, and I will continue to do that because I feel like it is important. The south was always overlooked by what was happening around Bakhmut, but realistically this place gets the brunt of it a lot. You get shelled every day. I think we've just heard 2 shells as this video has actually been on, so it's a busy area, and people still live here and have to live here, and it's important that we keep supporting and showing the world what is going on, especially now support is actually on the decline, for whatever reason. Like you said, it's not so much the Israel conflict, so
I think people want to see results. And it's not even results because you consistently provide proof of what you do. I'm very meticulous about that. I've since I came back from Sweden, it used to be if you don't provide me the pictures, then I'll never help you again. And now it's like, if we don't do that, you're not getting in the first place, because it pays for the next guy. The past few weeks has seen a decline for me, but I work every night, and I just don't have time to do the edits anymore. I've been falling back on. I've been posting. I don't post much on my Instagram, but I've done more there just because it's easier.
Yeah.
And that's a platform I neglected, which people on YouTube say, I'm not on Instagram. Okay, well then you're not gonna know. Maybe you don't like me. Maybe you don't like Harley. You know what I mean? But on there you can find every volunteer project in Ukraine, and that's where we all communicate and met each other.
Yeah.
But I posted on there for my own mental health because I have to post something. But YouTube videos take a while.
Yeah, they do. And even me, I don't really post that much in terms of videos. It's more community posts. I probably should post a lot more videos than I do, but it's finding that time. And also for me, a big thing that people don't realize is that I have a lot of legal issues that I need to work around. I need to know what's legal for me to post and what isn't. I need to know what's safe for me to post and what isn't, because as we were talking about earlier, last year there was a lot of videos that was posted of farmers removing mines, and look at this is how we do it, and people actually took it upon themselves to copy what they was watching, and that's how people died.
Went the way of jackass.
Yeah, loads of people died, and I don't want that, because every mine is different. Every scenario is different. You don't know who's laid it. You don't know how experienced the person who laid it is. And I mean, they do say with sappers, it's like snipers when snipers have a duel and they try and kill each other. It's the same thing with sappers as well. They try and outwit each other, and there's a big problem with that in Ukraine. And last thing I want to be doing is teaching somebody how to remove a mine. And there is a guy in Kherson who watches me, and he's also a deminer, so yeah, and he will understand and relate to what I'm saying as well. And he also agrees with what I'm saying, and it's not an easy process, and there's a lot of thought and everything goes into everything.
The groundwork laid out before the actual job.
Absolutely.
It's probably 2/3 that.
Even when we pull a mine from a distance, which is what we have to do, we have to hook it up and then pull it from a distance. We have to check the ditches that we're sitting in to cover ourselves for anti-personnel mines, because the sappers will purposely put anti-personnel mines in them ditches because they know that's where we're going to lie when we're clearing that obvious mine that we've just found there. You know, there's certain things like that we need to really look out for. And, you know, you can't just teach that on a video. You know, it all comes with experience. And
you need to ask questions. You need to be together.
And I have senior sappers that I work alongside, and I'm learning off them. You know, I don't really have the what's to say? I don't really have the authority or to be teaching others how to do it at this point. You know. Even when I got that medal the other week, it's like, you know, they wanted to give it me for my sapper work, and I'm like, I can't take this yet. You know what I mean? I've not even earned my right to even have that for that. You know, I'll take it for my logistic work instead.
Yeah.
And my sacrifices to Ukraine. That's what it was for. But I'm not taking it for sapper work, because I've not even earned the right to even tell anybody how to do the job yet. So, yeah, it's a fine line. It's just something that I wanted to address, because it is a question that I get every now and again, and yeah, it's just legal, and you know, I don't want anybody to die just for the sake of getting a few likes on a video. That doesn't really bother me. You know, it's my engagement rate is not something that's really important to me, to be honest. It's more just, you know, how well I do my job, and getting support for the work that we do, and support for this area that obviously gets overlooked all the time. So
there's a lot of things that are different here in Kherson, say compared to Donbass. The only time I ever seen press here was on November 11th, and in the town centre there was all the flags of all the brigades and units that participated in the liberation, and there was some press here like the day before. I noticed, because I'm free all day, I only work at night, you know, so I'm up and out of bed by about 10 in the morning usually. I see what goes on here in town. That was the only time I've ever seen press in this town. I know they're not allowed, even accredited journalists, they're not allowed here.
No.
And it's quite like, there's a lot of things I haven't even bothered filming here, because the way the river works, and we're all spread alongst the river, they see us, we see them. But if I post something that shows like the landscape of along the river, I'm fucked. This isn't Donbass. It's not Donbass at all.
You can get killed, you can compromise others, you can get thrown in jail. There's a lot of...
Well, that would be the worst thing if you got...
And people need to understand that, you know,
we're all spread along the river. I don't know how many 100 kilometers or whatever. I don't know, but it's not for me to. But at the same time, I still need to show proof of work.
Yeah.
So, it's a fine line. It's a very fine line here.
Yeah, it is, and there's a lot of rules in this side of the country. It is a lot different from Donbass. I mean, I'm looking at a guy there wearing uniform, but I was told that the other day that we're not allowed to actually wear uniform in public down here.
It's like 50-50.
Yeah, I suppose it all depends on whoever's watching, but or whoever's in charge on that day. But yeah, it is different down here.
All the people are like, they really like us. Like, I feed the kids. Like, if you pop open that glove box there, like, I mean, you can have one yourself if you want. But I'm always rocking with fucking Snickers, because the kids love. We should get Snickers endorsements, and I'm just throwing them out to all the kids, and they're like, "Bravo, insane." It's different. Like in Donbass, there's no kids.
No.
There's no kids. It's just old people,
Yeah.
Alcoholics,
Yeah.
because they had like 10 years to leave.
Yeah.
Anybody that had, and it's just I don't know how I feel about the kids. I mean, I know some of them are enjoying it because they don't have to go to school here. Like in Mykolaiv, they got to go to school.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
I mean, those kids are just running around playing all day, and
yeah, and
it's sad at the same time.
It's really sad, actually. It's not how a kid should grow up, not in this day and age, and everything that they're seeing, it's just going to have a knock-on effect in so many years' time. And one of the big things about this war is that when it's finished, officially, the war's still going to be going on amongst the soldiers and the mental problems, the destabilization of everything, every possible thing you can think of, and it's going to be very difficult. And again, mines as well. We're going to be fighting the mines well after the war's finished. I think it's they work it out as like there's going to be a month of demining for every day of war. So that's kind of like a
600 months, 700 months we're going on now.
Yeah. And, we're coming across areas like yesterday that we was told that these areas had no landmines and, it's just artillery shells on the surface and that's it. And then we come across 20 plus mines in one patch of grass, and plastic mines as well. So, I'm due to clear the rest tomorrow, and it's snowing and there's just snow on the surface and heavy snow, plastic mines, not very good. It's basically a low signal detector, detection with a detector, but I don't know how it's going to work.
I don't know how it's going to work for us here. The past 2 nights, we've got no boats going. It's no secret. It's no fucking secret because they can see it. Upset, man. It's like they see every fucking thing, and we see everything too.
Yeah.
And the weather, the terrain, and the weather dictates everything everywhere. We couldn't work. Had no casualties last night. We all got to go to bed early. The night before had one guy. Do you know what I mean? And that guy fell in a puddle and cut his hands up. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that was it. Good day. So I don't know that, like, people say the progress is slow. I can't speak about Zaporizhzhia. I'm not there. I can't speak about Kupiansk. I'm not there. But I'll tell you what the Marines have achieved in Kherson is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Like, people don't realize. You can look at a map. It's no secret. Like, that river's over 2 kilometers wide at some points.
Yeah.
And what we have over there, as far as I know, is pretty good.
Yeah.
Is pretty, and they achieved that. And guess what? And it's no secret either. And I'm not just feeding into Jake Bro, Artur Rehi. Yeah. Ukraine wins all the time, but in that bad weather, that's to our advantage because their artillery can't work. And this is a fact. Who do you want to put? Ukrainian Marines or Russian Mobics? Infantry for infantry. And one thing about the demining, because I mean, there's some nights here where like I like to remind people on my social media because maybe at some point you could do an interview with some of those YouTube war analysis guys if that's your thing. I know them all, but it's like they report they, no disrespect to them, but they make it sound like this is easy. And it's like, if we get 30 to 50 guys a night on our point, could be a concussion, could be an amputation, but that's a cost. That's a fucking cost.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's paid for dearly in blood. And what we've achieved in Kherson that's massive. Like, cause that's the river is 2 miles. Do you know what I mean? 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers. And when they talk about 17 kilometers over land and minefields and the biggest defensive, that water is the biggest defensive in this damn country.
And the water's got mines in as well.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't stupid, when they pulled out of Kherson to the other side.
Yeah.
That's over 1 year now for us to do what we've done. That's the hardest 2 kilometers of this war.
I think when they blew the dam, that displaced a lot of the mines and a lot of their defences, from what I been told and what I understand. But the mines are still there, and I think one boat actually hit a mine and killed everybody on board. But yeah, you know, one thing that is
there's
important,
things in that river that don't look right.
There's one thing that people forget and you know, assume that the Russian army's poor, and it's really not the case. I mean, there's obviously poorly trained soldiers in there, and young guys, and from far and beyond, away from Moscow. But the reality of it is that there's a lot of guys in there who are very highly experienced, trained guys, and you know, they're a big army,
and 75 mil thermals,
and they're well equipped. You know, I mean, there's a guy who I know who was serving here, who was a ex-British Special Forces guy, and he did 18 months here, and he said that some of them Wagner troops were better trained than the British, you know, by far, you know, they were smashing them every night, and people forget that, and some of these Ukrainian guys are only 18, 20 years old against these very highly experienced guys.
We had some time in Africa, had some time...
Serbia, Africa, you know, it's something that shouldn't be overlooked, and the achievements of Ukraine and what Ukraine has managed to achieve on drip feed from NATO, because that's exactly what it is, it's been phenomenal.
Never underestimate a man
words out.
Defending his home.
Yeah, they always say for one Ukrainian soldier is 10 Russians or something like.
I don't know, but I don't know anything about that.
No, I don't.
It's like
some saying that I heard a few times.
I watched a thing there the other day about, what was it? The Telegraph. You know, they got that real posh middle class guy there who like talks about intelligence. He's got the grey hair. He looks like a. Yeah, you know the fellow.
Like
there.
the guy on Sky News, that General
Ben Hodges. You know what I mean? How much money has he made off this war?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Put General Ben Hodges minimum 300,000 views. Yeah. You know what I mean? He ain't even been here, but he's not stupid. He's not stupid. But this guy's talking. They put up a clip of Zelensky saying that like how people seem to forget. Do you know what I mean? Like what we have achieved.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like, are people's memories so short? You wrote us off in 3 days.
Yeah.
Look where we are now. Look what we've achieved in the Black Sea.
Yeah.
You know, I know. And
also, it's also one thing to remember as well is a lot of the foreign guys who come here, or the highly trained foreigners that you always hear about in Russian media and that. I mean, majority of them aren't highly trained. You know, a lot of people, I don't know what they're doing here. You know, there's only actually a select few that I can think of a name that have actually really done the business here. So that's even more credit to Ukraine for standing up and you know, getting it done. And when the odds are against them, and they're still against them to this day. I mean, you know.
Well, there's British boys, American boys, there's Latino boys in those trenches every day. But in relatively to their numbers, what can they achieve?
Yeah.
Probably, I would agree. The best foreign contributions have been some of the IT guys.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
It only became more apparent to me here in Kherson how little a rifleman means, like on the chessboard, and that's a horrible thing to say.
Yeah. I mean, some of the instructors here doing really good work as well. I mean,
of course,
really good guys here. You know, they don't even get mentioned on these. You know, they're just ghosts on social media.
They have social media accounts so they can monitor all of us, and you've talked to some, I've talked to some, met some. They don't want to know.
Yeah.
They do good work in Ukraine, so the Ukrainians take care of them for as much as they need.
Yeah.
I mean, what funding do they need other than to keep a car on the road? They rock up on Polygon, all the equipment's there, all the ammo's there. They're doing
good work. There's a lot of people out here that are doing really good work, and I like to think that these days the people who are here now, or a majority of them, are the genuine people who are actually here to help. You know, a lot of people who've gone. I'm not saying that, I can't speak for everybody, because there's also people who've just lost funding and people who've just lost whatever,
a leg.
you know, or lost a life. Yeah. You know, there has been a lot of good people here, but I do believe that the people who are here now and the people who are still going, are the people who always work the hardest, you know, and made things happen. Didn't sit in the pubs getting pissed and doing whatever they was doing and swiping Tinder all day and just messing around. You know, the people who are here now are the people who've always done the business and got things done and have good discipline, because that's what you need here. And as a volunteer, because I know I always get asked, you know, how can I volunteer? How can I help you? How can I do this and that? You know, first of all, you need to have good discipline, because it's easy to fall into a crowd of a couple of, I'm not going to say legionnaires, but a couple of foreigners who will lead you down the wrong path, and then things happen. And
if you meet, it's like my auntie used to say, meet a girl in a pub, lose her in a pub.
Yeah.
How many of them have met each other here in a pub? And we'll go join this unit. We'll join this. And 1 out of 5 of them is still there after.
Or they've all been in so many different units because they've been booted out because they didn't like such a body. And
I was in the 59th, then I went and joined this one. I was going to join 3rd Assault, but I don't know. But there's some good boys and girls, and they found their place, and they don't want to really know anybody else, because they're just mentally, I've been struggling with keeping up with social media lately, but also doing my job. And doing my job, see, I'm very lucky how this all played out here. Our team was sent to work with another brigade, but then it's up to medical command's discretion, or you could be working for a combat commander as a hospitaller team, and it's up to their discretion. If they don't have missions on, you have permission to go find your own work. And some of those commanders might say, no, you will do nothing. Even if I have no work for you for 2 weeks, you will sit at home and do nothing and wait. And if I'm honest with you, majority of people are happy with that. And I don't mean to slander our regiment. That's the army. That's human nature. How many go-getters are there in life? You know, like really, it's a minority. And I had a conscientious team, but because of the generators last year, that paid dividend. And you know, we went out and met another brigade. Someone I knew, basically, he invited me to his home in Kiev. He was home on leave when I came back, and then he sent me a message. How come you never come to visit me? Oh, I'm in Kherson. I'll be there in 2 days. And then they're like, well, we've got lots of work. But then that turned into a rotation to change to another place, all because of a generator last year and an EcoFlow. You know, so it's like, and they're like, oh, well, Brandon, you got us this. If you didn't, but if you know people, you're in a position to, how do I say, like now I'm too busy every night. I'm too fucking busy, and it's only happened 3 times so far. But I've been the lead on casualties, on 3 casualties in a stabilization. Mind you, they didn't have internal complications, and they weren't airways casualties, because an airways casualty takes massive resources. But I took the whole lead, and I said to the doctor, can we give him this? I run his IV, because I can't make a call on a drug in a stabilization. And one time he had a bad hand injury, and I kind of just kept doing all my work, and I looked over, I was like, Taras, come. And he's a doctor from Ternopil. I'm not God, and I'm not a doctor. I said, what do you think we should do with this? I asked the question, but it's like the longer you're with a team, like this would be the same with your work. It's a flow. Like, you know Kev, you know them guys, and you know what they're thinking. Same thing on stabilization. Like, I don't care if you're the most highly qualified doctor in the world, Ukrainian or foreigner, you're not even doing the work I do within the first few days, because you're not part of their system. So it's not like the thing like, not to attack other foreigners at all, but it's like, oh, I want to come to Ukraine for 2 months. It's like, just go on a holiday, go to Lviv, go to Kiev, spend some money, go to a parade. But you can't be part of a system, because it would take minimum 3 weeks of butt fuck with your finger up your arse trying to get on a team, if you're lucky. And then it would take a few weeks just to get integrated into the workflow.
I had a question last night. Somebody asked to join my team for 2 weeks.
Your team. Yeah, it's Harley's team.
2 weeks. I was like, come on. I mean, no, no. I mean, what can you learn in 2 weeks? probably a lot,
right.
but it's just
Cozy.
it's just not enough. And for me, it's long term, and you need to be able to trust that person who's working next to you. Because the thing is with demining, I'm not working on my own. I'm working in a line with other people, and I've got to trust them as well. To keep me safe.
Sell your kids,
well.
sell your wife, sell your house, sell your life.
Yes, exactly. So no, yeah, you can't come.
Not
to
sell the
weeks,
dog.
Unfortunately.
Don't sell the dog. I don't know. I've seen some of your posts of the things, and I mean, you've met a minister.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of faith in government in generals, regardless of what country you're in, but I mean, there's so many people over here that are in your line of work, who are other foreigners, who for whatever reason, she's seen something in you, and
because
it drew attention, and
you
might get some serious traction out of this. It could develop.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Don't forget me when you're big.
No. I don't know. I just don't know any other demining team in the whole of Ukraine that removes what we remove. I did a video on, there was a demining org that removed 70 mines in 5 months at the cost of nearly $1 million or something.
You guys did it for free.
We did that before dinner time. Sometimes I think our record day was 255 in one day.
Shit.
That's a record day.
TM62s.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's 14, I think, on that day.
I'm gonna steal some of your pictures, put them into a slideshow, into a video.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. It's very impressive.
And how much did that cost? Probably our diesel that day. Don't get me wrong, I have invested a hell of a lot in equipment, better working practices and conditions, uniform, vehicles.
And you just hand them back over to the army, right?
Yeah,
or back to the state.
Yeah, so everything that I buy goes to UDAR, which is Ukraine Volunteer Army, which is actually a part of Hospitalities like you. Well,
No, Hospitalieri is part.
It's actually part of UDAR, yeah. So.
But like, when you finish with the mines, what happens with them?
Yeah, they get sent to one of the Sapper Zesu brigades,
and
they are used to protect Ukraine from invaders, which is a very controversial thing to say. And I don't know why on LinkedIn all these professional guys who work for all these.
Well, we don't hand the mines back to the army.
God save.
So you have authority in Ukraine to.
People, they don't agree with that, but unfortunately there is a war going on, and they can't seem to differentiate between wartime and non-wartime. There's an active war going on. We're being invaded. We're being encircled, and
a lot of that can be used for drone bombs and everything.
They are, actually. I put a video up the other day.
Good man. Good man. It's the best medicine.
Yeah, it's on my Instagram actually. It's one of my latest posts, but that's one.
Pick a side.
Yeah.
Pick a goddamn side.
Yeah.
Oh, Ukraine. But I only want my help going to medical aid. God bless her. There's someone on my YouTube. I'm not going to call her out, but she's written me about my mental health, and you're probably not wrong. You're probably half right. She's, I don't agree with Brandon carrying a gun. And it's like, did you see what was happening in Bakhmut and Soledar? What, I should put my hands up and Nika can get raped and I'll get shot. Nice one. Or no, I don't want to go on a rant, but it's like, and then when I started buying thermal scopes, it's just like, and she wrote in the comments, I think it's the same person, anybody that doesn't want their money going to that and wants to go to medical, write it in the comments, and Brandon will make sure it goes. You said that, not me. Like it's like, this country's been through the ringer, and it's like, I did years in therapy, and there's something called leveling up. And it's like, what's really important in your life? You have to take your dog, your best friend, your mom, everyone, and you have to drop one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then it goes through, it's like you make it to the semi-finals, the finals. Who's the most important person in your life? Mm-hmm. And it's like, you got a dead Russian or a dead Ukrainian. You only get one.
Yeah.
There you go. Russian's gone.
And
I just want Ukraine to.
Well, the problem as well, and what I've said about these people who have these sort of thoughts, and they've not seen what Russian liberation looks like. They've not seen what happens when the Russians arrive. Now, I work in liberated territory, so I work where the Russians used to occupy here. They used to occupy the city where we're sat here now. So, yeah, and I think until you've seen what they've done and what they've done to people, what they've done to animals, what they've done to the whole place. I mean, everything of value's gone. They've poisoned the water. They've killed anybody. People are missing from the city. People, they're just missing. A lot of the people are actually still here because they're waiting for the loved ones to come home who got carted off and arrested for nothing. And until you've seen that, you can't make a judgment on what we do in terms of if we want to plant mines to stop the Russians advancing around Avdiivka, and to protect Avdiivka from their idea of liberation, then that's what we have to do. Even the Nazis didn't treat the Ukrainians as bad, so that's how to put. Yeah, and they didn't. They didn't. The Nazis did build parks. They kind of just left a lot of people to it. I suppose they were under occupation. It wasn't nice, but
until you accept our reality.
Yeah, but the Soviets starved everybody. They stole everything. They built Moscow on Ukrainian grain. Millions of people starved to death, and it's just the same thing again. It's and you've got to protect Ukraine from that. If that means us using Russian mines against them to protect Ukraine, then that's what we do. So, and that's my answer to anybody who questions that, because I do get questioned on it a lot, and it's a very controversial thing apparently. But for me, it's not controversial because you've not seen it, and until you've seen it and been here and seen not even bodies, you see flesh. When you. I'm one of the first English people in Bucha. I went in with Reuters. I actually went into the same convoy as Reuters, and there was bodies in the road, but there's also flesh and arms and stuff in the road, and a lot of it was actually Russian soldiers. But it's difficult.
Be a first responder to an S-300 strike in the city, and Adam and them. I wasn't there, but they packed up an old lady the other day. That's not nice.
No.
Children with missing a leg. Yeah. Oh, the tourniquet doesn't work on him. Do you know what I mean? Like a small, scrawny little, his legs like this big.
Yeah.
And so it's like, no, it's not right. Svetlana, for example, have you met Svetlana in the Netherlands?
Yes.
No, you should have.
Yes.
Well, she's from fucking Irpin.
Yeah.
She packed up day one, her father is a colonel in the National Guard. She would have been, she'd be lucky if she get a bullet first.
Yeah.
There's people in her hometown she's never heard tell of again.
Yeah.
Olga,
the woman I used to, I pretty much got her back on her feet, with my organisation at the time. She lived in Makariv, which is a village just outside of Kiev, and it was under occupation, and she and her son had to live in the basement whilst they took over her house. They took anything of value. They just sat around drinking every day, shooting at the Bayraktar that used to fly past drunk. And then one day they found a picture of a son who used to be in the army. I think he'd done like 2 years. I think he was 22 years old and he'd served 2 or 3 years. And they beat him to death in front of her. She had to listen to them beat him to death, and then they set him on fire in the house, which then burnt the house down. And she still had to carry on living in that basement. I'll actually maybe show a video of it, actually, or something. There is a video on my Instagram of how she had to live. And I've still got everything. And and they even ate the dog. Because there was no food, because Ukraine was attacking the supply trucks at the back, the fuel, the food, and eventually once the Russians had ate everything, they could have started eating people's dogs, and pets and stuff. So, and eventually them guys were actually killed. The Bayraktar drone actually killed them outside the house.
And she lived.
She lived, and she's still
after they tortured her son to death and ate her fucking dog.
Yeah, and she's still in Makariv now. Just anyone who died, her neighbours, the pets that actually managed to survive, she has all the pets now. And Kev and Oro supply, well, they did supply dog food to her. I don't know if that's been took over by somebody else, but yeah, we supplied her with furniture and everything for a cabin that was supplied by Polish volunteers to replace a house. So there is videos I have, so I mean, anybody who follows my Instagram knows about this story. But yeah, it's, people don't understand like what these Ukrainians have been through when the Russians came to town. So it's horrible. There's so many stories like that all over the country. Hundreds of thousands of stories of same old story.
Same old story. And they're going to be fucked for the rest of their life.
Yeah. And there's still people out there who defend Putin's actions and stuff. It baffles me. I don't even want to talk about it anymore, but the whole thing just confuses me, you know?
It does. It does.
Like, if you speak about serial killers in Britain, like, or people who've killed children and stuff, they're all very hated.
They're animals.
You know, like Ian Huntley, for instance, or
Alan Legier from my hometown.
Yeah.
First man in Canada convicted by DNA evidence.
Yeah. And these Russians have done 100 times worse crimes and still get supported, you know, for what they've done. And it's
by people on the internet who never. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, their biggest war is probably some electricity bill that lands through the door, you know. You know, they're never going to experience something like this. It's as simple as that.
Where do we go forward from here, Harley? You brought 10 radios over.
Yep.
Dimitri brings them to Garfield. Garfield programs them. They get out to Andrei.
Mm-hmm.
We've still got to get the SLR 5500. I'll tell you right now, my situation. There's been a bit of a decline in donations. I'm not posting as much because I'm too busy. I showed you there's 300 gigabytes of stuff there that I don't know if I can show or not show. But also the things I've been buying lately. It's the first Motorola repeater I've ever bought. Mm-hmm. She says, yeah, we'll have that December 1st. And I forwarded the money. I've never bought a repeater. Now I forked out, I've received 2 drone guns that have been replaced. I bought 3 more. I spent all the money on drone guns, like majority is like, now I had to choose between car repairs or a boat. I'm a privileged volunteer, you know, like in that sense. But the reason I did that, because the lead time takes so long. Like the drone guns, the components is minimum 20 days, and then just to make it, but pay for them up front. Now, that's okay, because the reason I spent all that, I didn't think at the time, maybe I should have bought 2, but it don't matter. It's because they're so important, but the lead time. I said, well, buy 3, because then you have 3. If you buy 1 and wait for 1, it's 60 days, you know, like to get 3.
Yeah.
So lead time's a big issue for me to show the, because I have to show the results to get the support. What's it like with demining? Can you pretty much buy as soon as you have the money, or is there some things that have to come from America? Or no, because anyone who's watching at this point are hardcore followers, because the attention span drops like this.
Yeah,
I like when we're at this point of the video. Yeah. So fuck off, all you.
Yeah, so I set up...
Not you, LCT, or anyone who's still here.
I set
only LCT.
LCT, yeah. I set up an initiative which has been providing newly trained sappers with small, basic sapper kits.
Yeah.
I've provided, I think, 75 of them so far. So that's an ongoing initiative for me. That's something that is ongoing.
When you pay for it, how many days till it's in your hand?
Yeah, about 3, because
that's
they're made in Kiev, and it's made by an ex-sapper, Vitaly, and it's also supporting Vitaly's business, which is good. And also equipment that I bring from the UK, like detectors, and
like the balance.
Like yeah. So we use them, and vehicles, like just getting vehicles that are capable.
With a Valin mine detector, let me ask you, interrupt because I want to go point by point. It's not a matter of lead time, it's a matter of when they become available.
Yes, yeah, because it's not just me that buys them. There is another guy as well in the UK who supplies them. So sometimes they do call me just to say that they are getting 7, 8, 5, 4 in stock. Do you want
just
them
like Sophie with radios? I got more stuff coming in.
Yeah.
Do you want them? Can you afford them?
That goes on because they come direct from the Ministry of Defence. So they're like old ex-British Army, Afghanistan issue detectors, which are perfect for this job because we're working against pretty much 99% of our work is against old Soviet munitions, which have a high metal content, unless there's a plastic fuse on top. But the Valen will still detect that. I mean, these Valens, you know, they're quite good when it comes to the detection and sensitivity and everything. So, yeah, I just buy what I can.
What does an average one cost?
It's about £350.
Okay, plus minus.
Yeah,
350.
350. Yeah. It depends what grade it is. How many scratches are on it? Is it grade A1 or it's A2 or it's A3?
Yeah, can we kick a dent in that one?
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
Yeah, you know, shoulder strap missing or there's something missing or just, but they all work and that's the main thing, you know. It's,
yes. It doesn't come with the cool Gucci case.
No. Yeah, sometimes they come with a different case and but the difference is about £20 or something like that, you know.
It's missing the original CD-ROM.
Yeah. Or it's refurbished, or you know, there's all sorts of different reasons for it. But yeah, they tend to cost around £350.
So now on to cars. That's the biggest one.
Yeah, so cars we've started to look at using the UAZ.
Who's we?
Me and Kev.
Okay. Sunflower.
Because Kev already has a Bahanka, which anybody who doesn't know what a Bahanka is, it's a old Russian 4x4 van. It's very capable for these roads here. We was actually quite lucky yesterday that we was in the Bahanka because I don't actually think that any other vehicle would have got through that mud. But the reason why we need these vehicles is because the 4x4 capabilities, the cargo space, they're very simple to fix. There's a lot of parts here, a lot of spare parts, and everybody knows how to fix them. You know, and they're not expensive. You know, you can get
you can bring it to Ruslan and Timur and the boys, Kev's friends that you hooked me up with.
Yeah.
He's in the last video. I put him as the thumbnail. Like, my God, that guy has a gorgeous smile.
Yeah. Well, and the other issue is that cars and parts and everything's getting really expensive for like Mitsubishis and Nissans and
the Soviet shit you can fix today.
Yeah, you can fix it today.
It'll break tomorrow, but you can fix it today.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So in terms of vehicles, we are looking at trying to get another Bahanka to back up Kevin's, because to be honest, I don't always work with Kevin, but it'd be nice for me to have one because at the minute I use the Mercedes Vito, which is rear wheel drive, which isn't always great in mud.
Fun on snow.
Yeah, and the team also uses the Shogun, but again it does lack the cargo space because we like to remove a lot of mines. So
right.
We
before lunch.
We remove by the 100. So we don't have the cargo space, unfortunately.
Early to work, early to... Yeah. No, that's... You just got to keep going. You know, this L200, it will not stay mine. The Land Cruiser's fixed. In the next couple of days, I'll get to go to Kiev for a day. I hope it coincides at the repair with Johnny's Thanksgiving party, because I'll get a night in Kiev. But then I'll come back with the Land Cruiser when the patrol's fixed. Because we have autonomy. These are all battalion vehicles, but I fundraise. I have autonomy, so I'm giving them all away, and I'm just down to the patrol. And the patrol is also a sentiment. Because I got blown up, and then Andrea bought this for me, and it's got a few holes in it, and it's done a lot of work, and you know. But I'm giving them all back to battalion. Joe's like, "Oh, can you give me one of those?" I was like, "No." It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work. But thanks to the Swedes, Blue Gula Billen, well, mainly Tilda, they got a truck. You know, not the nicest. They got a Mazda, but it's nice for me to have a little bit of sway, because I've raised a shitload of money but probably about 50% on top of that has been donations from organizations, medical gear. We've had a few cars that have been able to go to units. Well, I know those guys, can you help them out? And that certainly doesn't happen every day, but it's nice.
Yeah. See, I had a meeting the other day with Udar and Udar Chief of Staff, and I think we're trying to focus. Obviously, demining, there's going to be a pause. I'll tell you why, because it's just too cold. The mines are frozen into the ground. It's very dangerous to demine in the ice, and it's pretty much impossible to jab through the ice with anything.
Yeah, if you want to come work for 2 weeks, we got a good job for you. If you want to come here,
it's a good one.
Take that pick, take that ice pick.
Yeah. So I had a meeting with Udar, and we are going to focus on just trying to build the base, and obviously we've got a few new members that are joining, not on a demining side, just trying to defend Odessa against the Shaheeds, the suicide drones.
Because they're stockpiling for winter. That's what they say on the...
and it's a big problem, and you know, the main focus over the winter is trying to defend Odessa and the southern front as much as we can from Shaheed. So that is something that we will be looking at doing, is building back up the supplies for the base that kind of lost everything in the last few months. So
it's another thing. It just occurred to me about the war. It's like you're trying to prepare for these things. We're doing what we do as volunteers, but Ukraine and foreign politicians who are pro-Ukraine, they do what they do, but this isn't like he's so fucking retarded. How long have they been talking about F-16s?
I know.
They're trying to sell it. You have to sell it to your voters.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like Russia's like been hearing F-16 for over a year, and they're like, oh, that's a good idea. Let's build S-400s now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they're trying to sell it to you as a voter, you know, to prepare you for these F-16s, which are a bit antiquated. And Russia's hearing this for a year. Oh, let's build a new air defense missile.
Yeah, I think your light's dimming.
I'm a bit dim. But it's like we've really got our hands tied behind our back in so many ways here. It's like they announce, oh, we're sending Abrams, and Russians are probably thinking, how can we prepare for that?
Yeah.
If this is a NATO war with their own shit,
we just go get 1 million shells from North Korea.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah.
So it's a theatric.
Yeah.
It's a theatric, and everyone's caught in the middle. But we're doing all right.
Yeah. And yeah, there's been a lot of progress in terms of from my side this year. I mean, what we've achieved since summer has been phenomenal, really, and that's thanks to support received, because we would never have been able to achieve that, or even me study demining.
Well, June you got qualified, wasn't it? You finished your qualification.
May, yeah.
And then you were flying.
Yeah, and I did promise.
Thanks to everybody on my YouTube that supported Harley.
Yeah.
Like the guy in England who bought you the Shogun.
Yeah.
That came from
Colin,
there. Yeah, Colin.
I still speak to Colin today. He's a friend. Every now and again. I mean, Colin's got his own life, but you
got yours.
Yeah, it's still So, but yeah, thank you, Colin.
No, thanks everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna keep doing what we do. I mean, I'm ever so grateful to you and Sophie, because you know, that was a $6,000 order, but I know once it's ready, it will get here. I won't actually have to touch one piece of that kit.
Yeah.
And because it's going to, like, Dimitri, because you're busy, Garfield's a bit late out of bed every day. He does his work though, but he's an IT guy. He likes to eat ramen and work weird hours. Doesn't really work with your schedule.
No, it's a lunchtime.
Dimitri gets it to him. He does his work. Dimitri will get it to Andre, and Andre will do beautiful social media for it to complete the process. I never touched anything. Just sent money to. So it's like a really nice thing. And I'm doing my job again. My real job on paper. I say my job on paper, but it's actually my job again.
Yeah.
And it's, if I didn't have friends like you, I mean, really, you do more for me than I do for you. and I can publicly acknowledge this. I don't want to call other foreign volunteers a ball ache, but you're the only one who's ever done anything for me.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to slag them, because a lot of them are doing great jobs and stuff, but it takes from me. Like if I shout them on my social media, they don't shout me. You know what I mean? It's they're doing good work, but there's never anything they've ever physically done in Ukraine that takes off my workload.
Yeah.
But you have.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm really grateful.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it is hard sometimes.
It's okay, no. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, so-and-so in Avdiivka needs a truck, needs an ambulance. What do you want me to fucking do about it? Do you know what I mean? I'm in Kherson. What, like you should, yes, I agree. You should buy them a truck.
Yeah.
It's like, I got my own problems here. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm on the toilet and there's no toilet paper, and the toilet paper's up. I got my own. I'm in my own shit. You know what I mean? But I gotta say, like, I think we're really achieving shit.
Yeah, I do. We're definitely winning our own wars within Ukraine. You know.
Yeah.
And that's thanks to the support that we receive from you guys. And like I always say, you know, fighting wars isn't always firing guns. It's everything else. You know, it's just the guy going to work in Germany who gives us an extra $10. You know, or you know, just
or the guy.
Eileen, what does she do? She bakes chocolate bars or something, doesn't she, for Frontline, and raises money and.
Everyone's doing her thing, you know. I wouldn't want to guess what she's contributed to the war, but just doing with her chocolate, she probably raised like 50 grand through the war or more. Like, wow.
Yeah, and it does make a difference, you know. I mean,
Ben fighting with the car dealer over the patrol a year later finally got the BF Goodrich tires that he promised me. That he thought, oh, they're going to Ukraine, they'll be dead. I won't have to give those tires. Ben's like, no, I'm still in Germany. Where's them tires? Every week he rang them.
Yeah.
I finally picked up those tires, like 10 months later, because he kept pushing. It's like, no, they might be in Ukraine, but I'm not, motherfucker.
Yeah. And
a lot of people got our backs. Around
8,500 mines removed since summer. That is a lot. That's a hell of a lot of mines. You know?
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
How many mines, off the top of your head, in Mykolaiv Oblast, because you're mostly in Mykolaiv, how many mines in Mykolaiv Oblast, if you had to take a guess, would there be? 50,000?
No, it's more.
What did the Soviet Union do their whole time?
It's actually Kherson, which is the worst, really. But it's such a large area as well with what they've done. And I mean, the mines aren't always difficult to remove. You know, let's get one thing straight. I mean, a lot of them are thrown out on the surface in huge numbers. Just that's what they've done. They've drove the truck forward and just chucked them out. But there is some that are buried because the Russians didn't really make a lot of effort down in Kherson in terms of burying the mines, because they thought they was going to be picking them back up as well, you know, because they thought this was going to be an easy ride. Whoa. So they never made a lot of effort in terms of burying them. But Zaporizhia and in the east, it's a lot more.
I work in the Humvee now, and I'm in the back of the Humvee, so I don't see what's in the front. And I'll tell you what, when we have to do a 180 around the road, I'm like, because it's. Do you know how many guys who've actually gone off a road and it's like boom?
Mate, it happened yesterday. We was in the UAS and it started fishtailing in the mud. But this TM62's on the edge of the road.
Yeah.
You know.
Or you know when you're driving down a dirt road and you're both fighting for the center and you play chicken against like an Ural and it's like the Ural's gonna win, but you get back to the center as quick as possible.
So it's. I mean. Obviously, it's not as. It sounds easy that they're just thrown on the surface, but you know everything. There's a procedure to follow for every mine, no matter how it looks.
I don't know how to do it. My best bet is to take an RPG-7 from far away.
And there's a lot of dangerous anti-personnel mines out there that you know you don't even have to touch. That they will get you from a distance. So it's very complex, but. The problem with the mines is in the hundreds of thousands. And that's even after, you know, us working a couple of years.
Sheer volume of this shit.
Yeah.
Mate, I gotta go get some sleep before we go to work
it's an
tonight.
hour. Yeah, we've been on an hour, so we'll cut
It's
it
all
an
right.
hour. Yeah, it's good.
So, in conclusion, though,
Yep.
when this war ends, because I always thought I'll keep my YouTube going. Maybe I'll do like a video a month, like what we're doing at the boxing club with the kids, whatever. But if everywhere I travel, I'd be fool not to make a YouTube video.
Yeah.
You know, because my YouTube's not great, but it makes $80. That pays for a couple dinners in Spain. You know, I just spend it all here now. But you and me can actually go to Kyrgyzstan or whatever and drive in the US.
Yeah, let's do it.
We do like a Bald and Bankrupt right now just did the Darien Gap there with the Greek fella Timmy. Do you watch those videos?
Yes, I do.
I like them.
Yeah,
I like them. People say, oh, he's pro-Russian. It's like, whatever. Do you know what I mean? We drink Red Bull here because it's better than non-stop.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's...
Yeah,
but we could do some
hopefully
travel
we
vlog.
don't get kidnapped in Kyrgyzstan and thrown over the border.
Oh, fuck. We really got to be picky where we go.
Yeah, we do. It has something. It is something that I've googled. So,
what about a road trip through Turkey? That's an interesting country.
Yeah.
We'll get a shitty van and we'll just go.
We'll get a new house.
I know how to say I know how to say Teşekkür ederim. Thank you. So,
I don't know that.
or you can say Teşekkür.
You get some turkey teeth. Big smile.
Oh mate, it'd be all right.
Yeah.
Where else could we go?
Where we're not going to get in trouble. I suppose we're quite limited, actually, this side of the world, aren't we?
I don't know. Travel through Morocco down to Western
Morocco,
Sahara.
Morocco, yeah,
you can go
nice.
through the minefield into Mauritania. Do you know about that? You got to hire a guide to drive through the minefield.
Oh, right, no, yeah,
and then
we can do that.
If we go for February, we can hit up the Great Camel Fair.
Yeah, we can do that then.
That'd make a good video, wouldn't it?
That'd be a good win. Yeah.
Get a cheap flight to Marrakesh or something.
Yeah, I've done that twice.
Yeah.
Of course. It's quite cheap in winter, isn't it? Happy days.
Mate, that's a YouTube video. Ryanair will be over there. We can keep our exes low.
Yeah.
All right.
I have to get permission from Cara. She'll give me permission.
Trouble,
She allows me to come here, so I think
trouble and strife.
Yeah.
But it'd be good fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, mate. So if you're still following, you forgive me for some of the horrible, heinous
Thank you
things
for
I
still
did.
following after an hour.
After an hour,
Yeah.
finish that. I was supposed to go to the tool shop today
know, I
because
need to go
the
as
J-arm
well.
for this PSV 14, it's not... I need a new Allen key. Anyway,
Yeah, right.
brother.
See you later.
Yeah, go away.
Yeah, right. I'll speak to you soon.